Hello, everybody. I'm Andrea. That's why my channel is called Andrea Cannon Guitar. Yep, that's me. And every Wednesday for the last, maybe 13 weeks, I've been showing up here to talk a little bit about various guitar topics. The latest one, because someone asked me, why are fingerstyle and classical style so hard? So I signed on a couple of minutes early here today, so maybe we'll gather a little crowd, or maybe we won't, which is okay because I leave these videos up. So if you're not here during the 15 minutes that we have our mini lesson, you can come back later and start and stop the video as you need to absorb what we're doing. All right. So this is our third week of talking about things that can make the whole finger style, aka playing without a pick thing, not so hard. Anything is hard that you want to do that's worth doing. So it involves learning finger independence and strength. So while we're in the beginning here, I'll recap a couple of big ideas that we've had and talked about in the past. One is if you have nothing better to do and you want to spend 5 or 10 minutes with your guitar, you can break it down by thinking of one thing to do with your right hand and one thing to do with your left hand to kind of build some independence, and pick things that aren't abysmally hard or confusing, because then you will be successful, most likely. So when you close your hand, think about holding on to something like a glass. Of course, I don't have any glass. I do have a jar of guitar polish. Okay, so if I'm going to put my hand around that, it's going to close like this. Notice how all the fingers bend, but the wrist does not. I don't have to bend my wrist to grab this, right? Think that way when you're playing strings. You can even put your fingers on the strings ahead of time. So this is 3, 2, and 1, and I'm going to put this one on the 6th string just for ease, and then I'm going to pretend that bottle's in my hand and close around it. Okay, if you do that, you're using your whole finger, but you're not bending your wrist in ways you don't need to. So there's that. That's a good way to warm up, and I always like to mute it because then I'll push a little harder and stronger, and that's better training for my fingers. Another thing we've done to make the fingers a little stronger is play with a mute in the guitar. This is a polishing cloth that went with the guitar polish. It was a gift from a student. Thank you, student. And again, you feel the resistance. So pretend you're closing your hand around that bottle until all the fingers move together. And that's one way to help get your fingers conditioned for the task of fingerstyle guitar playing. And anything you do to strengthen your right hand is going to work for all styles of guitar. So that's not really independent or unique to classical, except that the neck, if you're playing on a real classical style guitar, the neck's a little wider. If you're not, if you're playing on a steel string guitar, then you have the radius neck. So there's that. So let's just, don't forget to tune your guitar, which I did do before the session today. And also don't forget to warm up a little bit. So that was a little bit of a warm up there for your right hand. And we did talk in another video about, circles and little circles and Vulcan and reverse Vulcan. Those were ideas from wonderful guitarist and composer Andrew York. Anyway, check him out if you haven't heard him yet. And so what we did last week was we took patterns from an easy arrangement of Malagueña, which is a traditional Spanish dance everybody's heard of, right? So, and we broke down the patterns. So I'm going to go back to those patterns because if you haven't been playing them, they're a good thing to do for your right hand independence, which is what you need if you're going to be good at classical and fingerstyle. So I'm going to put my fingers back on those 3 strings and this one on the bass string. The first pattern that we had from this arrangement is on the bass. It plays this bass pattern, which will sound familiar to you, I'm sure. So we need to be on the 6th string for some of that, and then we need to be on the 5th string for some of that. But what we have to do on the first upper strings is these 2 fingers. There's no patterns in this piece, this arrangement, that use this 3rd finger. But we might put it in the mix anyway, just so it gets a little training. But for this first pattern that you have to play, you put these 2 fingers on 1 and 2 like this, and close your fingers around the imaginary bottle. And then we're going to alternate that with the 6th string. And if you want a little more strength and grit about it, then put the mute under the string or hold the string here. If you feel pretty coordinated about that, I have killer nails right now. If you don't have any at all, just get on the corner of your finger, pretend you have a little nail there and you want to pick with it, and get on the edge and pull it in all the way around that bottle, the imaginary bottle in your hand. And if you want to, you can put this in there too. E, G sharp, B. So that's the actual beginning of the tune. And the first pattern, therefore, that you have to master. The second pattern is on the 2nd page, and I laid these out on the in the last video. It's the 4th string alternating with the 1st string, and if you play the E here, then you have the same. They're 2 E's, and I'm just going back and forth on that 1st string. For now. And this is an octave above this, E, G sharp, B, so it's like the top part of an E chord, very easy. The real secret to success with fingerstyle and classical style playing is take it slow and make sure you feel all the moves you're making, because that's making your hand more independent. For most of you, I guess you're probably right-handed. I am not. I'm left-handed. So for me, it was a little more work to get this done with a lot of intention. And then you can do it with your 2nd finger, your middle finger. Slowly speeding it up. That's the 2nd pattern. The 3rd pattern uses both of these fingers on the E, and it does the same pattern down here with that E chord. So now I just did it in order, like thumb, index, middle. What it actually calls for in the arrangement is he wants you to do thumb, M, I, middle, index. Now, why do you think that is? Okay, I'm going to tell you. When your hand closes around something like this, which fingers close first? Do you close like this? That's not the natural way you do it, is it? It's this way. So if you want to train your fingers according to the way they kind of work, which is often a good idea, we're going to do it MI, the way they indicate in the arrangement. So by taking this arrangement apart and doing the patterns in the order of difficulty, you can put the whole thing together. When you do put the whole thing together, you will be better trained on each part that you have to use. So that way it's, you're not going to like play really great at the beginning and then break down right here, because really one of the more difficult patterns starts in the middle of the first page. So it would be demoralizing, right, for you to get all that far and then sound kind of stumbly and then get over to the second page near the end and sound great because it's easier. So that's the whole notion behind it all, is to break down the patterns like we talked about last week and are reviewing right now. And then when you know that you have them all, there is a section here we haven't talked about, and that's the slow part on the second page where they have this big fat bar chord. Now, why would you put that in the middle of a beginner song? Because you're mean, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so that part, you have to work through that individually and play just the melody notes till you feel really accustomed to how it goes, and then try to put it all together with the chord. And this is the thing that we did in the beginning, because we're used to playing chords, right? Except you use your fingers for them. So it's a big A minor chord, a big E chord. Then they have some Fs, which, yep, it uses a bar, but we can work around that if need be. Okay. So we're putting it all together in the order of difficulty. All right. And then we're going to put it all together as written after we're really confident with all of our sections. So this is the big reason. We have now unearthed the big reason why everyone says that classical and fingerstyle are hard. Because sometimes if you start at the beginning, you have the hardest part near the beginning. Well, it's difficult, so you think you're lousy and you'll never be able to do it, and my fingers will never be coordinated and whatever. And that's only true if you try to play everything from start to finish. Sometimes it's smarter to start at the end. It's always smart to take it apart and play the parts in order of difficulty for where your technique is at, and then put it all together. And when it is time to put it all together, then you're going to have to go super slow, and nobody likes that. Who likes to go slow? Nobody. Okay. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I thought that probably everybody's already done this. If you have any notion in your mind to play, classical or Spanish style guitar, and that is that in this Malagueña or Malagueña, however you say it, it's from Malaga, so probably Malagueña. The pattern is the E, then the E a half step up, and then the E a whole step up. And so here I'm just doing a thumb sweep. Which is not too difficult. Okay. So that's how this one ends. And just to begin with a big sweep on the E chord. So I'm going to play like the first. Okay, that's the first pattern we use, and it goes through the whole theme. The next pattern would be this one, and we didn't even talk about this yet, but now what we did over here used on the same string and I think that is a little easier than this one right here, because you have to have your fingers on 3 different strings. And then the next one is this one where they're together. This is actually a little easier because it's one move instead of two coordinated moves. And then we have the slow part, which we haven't talked about too much. So we're skipping that for now, and then going to go to this one. And now this next one, which has the two E's with two fingers on the same string, the high E. Alrighty. So what we did this week with this arrangement was take all the patterns that we built up last week and go through them slowly, kind of even in the whole order that you would be playing them in the piece, except for that middle section. And that takes us through the end of our 15-minute lesson for today. So I'm going to put a reference in the info where this piece can be found if you want to read it. It does not have tab, but you've heard all the patterns, and except for this middle section, you could put it all together on your own and start playing this one. So I hope that you will try to do that, and I will see you back here next week where we will be taking a little bit different path onto some more fingerstyle. This is more classical Spanish guitar style, and we're going to go to a folk song and do a little more finger picking kind of arrangement. Okay? All right. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for being here and checking me out. And oh yeah, I just released another new song onto the platforms. You can find it on YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp, and everywhere music happens these days. So see you next week.